Oh, it's blooming raining. It's typical, that, isn't it? Not such a contrasting difference back to back as I thought it would be, if I'm honest. A cheeky little number. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to sunny Aberdeen, where, well, it's now just started to rain, so that's just about my luck, isn't it? And welcome back again to Triumph Aberdeen, home of Sherlaw's motorcycles. I said, after popular demand, I would do a review on the Street R, and here we are. Some faffery going on here. So, what's different with the Street R? Well, as you know, it's got different mirrors. It doesn't have barrier mirrors. It's got a different dash. It doesn't have the belly pan. It's got 10 brake horsepower less. It's 10mm lower seat ride height, and it's got different calipers on the front. And I think that's pretty much it. Different dash, I mentioned that. So yeah, let's get on and see how we go. Oh yes, I did mention better mirrors. Let's go. It's raining, that's just typical, isn't it? So this bike, of course, is 9895. So it's actually what, nearly £2,000 cheaper than the Street RS. Doesn't have the Brembo calipers, of course, and it doesn't have the Öhlins rear shock. But it will be good today to test this out. We'll take it on the same road as what we took the RS out on, and we'll get a comparison. Different tyres from standard as well, of course. More conventional road rubber, which, to be honest, in this weather, is probably just as well. But yeah, essentially so far feels very similar. Not really noticing so far the 10mm seat height. The lever itself does feel a bit spongier, but it's not, it really isn't an issue. And a mighty 10 brake horsepower less, I suspect we're really not going to notice a difference. Still feels just as pokey low down. Yeah, it's still pretty eager. She's still eager. Why is that flashing like that, I wonder? Weird. These things do howl though. Let's go for it. Feels right. So far so good. So someone asked me previously about the RS. What sort of revs is it cruising at? So I'm going to guess the gearing is obviously the same, minus the top end power, 10 brake. But that's what's sitting at 70 mile an hour, and we're doing 6,000 revs. So I thought the last one was about 4,500 revs, 5,000 revs, but it was the best guess. But yeah, 6,000 revs. There we go. At 70 mile an hour. Very comfortable. It's not buzzy at all, really. Feels like it's eager. It's eager to go as and when you want to. So yeah, 670, a little squirt. Yeah, fine. It's fine. I will say the dash is easier to read. A lot of people seem to comment on the dash being easy to read on the R, and so far I would agree. Certainly the rev count is easier to read anyway. Oh, I don't know what bike that is, I can smell it from here. It smells like a two-stroke. The mirrors are certainly better, they're clearer. I'm guessing they're easy enough to swap, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll soon find out. Nice. Right, it's a Vespa of sorts. Different. Certainly different. Doesn't matter what you ride, as long as you're riding. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It might have a little bit less power, but doesn't really feel it. It's all about the involvement of the ride, I think. I love the GSXR, but you're a bit of a pilot on it really some of the time. It's just an absolute animal. But these bikes, the RS included, it's very jump on it, easy to ride, more engaging, use more of it more of the time, and I think a lot of manufacturers are probably going that way, to be honest. I think the market is maybe going that way. Less is more, and I think I was probably one of the first advocates of that before I bought the GSXR, but never mind. But yeah, I still stand by that. You know, less is more, and it is more fun. The more involved in the bike, the more fun I think they are. I mean, the Monkey is case in point. Anyway, let's cut this dual carriageway, and we'll rendezvous when we get to the twisties. Well, here we are, just the other side of Stonehaven again. Oh, wheelie there. Camera died literally just after that, after the first corner there, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to replace the battery, and we'll have a quick stop and a quick chat. So starting at the top, the dash is easier to read. We have conventional mirrors, which are actually easier to see out of. Biro mirrors are okay, they're personal choice. I fitted Biro mirrors to 750, and to be honest I got rid of them, but the ones in the RS are better. They're certainly bigger to see out of, but yeah, I don't know, I don't mind the conventional mirrors, to be honest. It is a retro bike after all, so, or just ditch them completely for track use should you be so inclined. The front brake, so obviously this the R model doesn't have the RCS 19 Brembo master cylinder. Brakes for the road so far fine, no issues at all. It's only going to be a problem, I think, if you're going to be on track and you just need that that adjustability. Obviously, as the brakes start fading as they get, thanks for that, as the brakes start fading as they get hotter, then the adjustability is obviously what you want. Moving down, so obviously to the other end of the brake lever, these are the conventional Brembo calipers, but for road use, actually, so far they're fine. And while we're down the bottom of the bike, the R doesn't have the belly pan, but you could spec one should you want to. Tyres are the Conti Roads. So far they feel pretty good. I've not ridden on Continentals before. They feel fine, very confidence inspiring. And yeah, for the temperatures today, which is about, I think ambient's about 8 degrees today, 9 degrees, they're absolutely fine. Underneath the seat here, I've just plugged in my GoPro camera battery, because that's just created, as I said. So same storage space, still get your USB connector, you still got your quick shifter, up and down. We don't have the Öhlins rear shock, obviously. This is just your conventional shower shock. It's okay, feels okay as far as the road's concerned. And the engine itself, obviously 10 horsepower less, but so far I've not really noticed it. Top end, it's not quite as punchy, but yeah, it's hard to tell because of course both bikes have not even running yet. So, but yeah, there we go. Pretty good, and also different colour choices being the R. I would probably go with the white one, I think, if it was me. Quite nice in white. Not bad at all, really. With the exhaust, you don't get the black tip on it, but hey, not a big deal. That's pretty much it for the R. So we'll jump back on the bike and we'll go for another spin, and give you a few more thoughts, and then we'll wrap up at the end of it. But so far, yeah, there's subtle differences, but do you notice it when you're riding it? Not really. Right, let's jump on and I'll catch you soon. Also, I forgot to mention with the R, obviously you don't get the seat you don't get the pillion cover, but again, you could spec one if you wanted to. Well, I don't know if it's just me, but the induction noise doesn't seem to be quite as loud on this as it was on the RS. I could of course just be making that up, and it could just be all in my head. That was a very poorly taken corner. I've got to say, to be honest, for road riding and road riding only, I really don't know that you would notice any. I'm not really noticing much difference between the RS. The tyres feel better, but so far not much difference on the road, I've got to say. Depends how you like your cake, I suppose, and how you want to eat it. But the RS, I think you've only got to look at the spec on that one and see that, you know, with the Öhlins rear shock, oh, look at all this mud over here again, lovely. I think the Öhlins rear shock first and foremost. Oh, it's a bit cold. Can we get past? Yes, we can. Oh. Lovely. Conti roads in the wet. So far, they feel absolutely fine. And it is absolutely lashing down now, by the way. That's a river. Yeah, pretty confident it's firing. Feel fine, no issues at all. Oh, it's absolutely soaking. Well, quite a contrasting ride to the RS, but hey, it's what it's all about. So yeah, gotta say, it's good. It really is. Yes, getting back on track to where I was before. So obviously you haven't got the RCS mod, you haven't got the Brembo master cylinder, you don't have the Öhlins rear shock. Are the brakes worse for it? They feel sharp enough. For road use, it's totally fine. And it may come down to personal preference. It could come down to colours, it could come down to whether you want the bling or not. Gotta say, the R really isn't bad at all. Do you want to save £2,000? Buy the R. If you want the fancy gizmos, you want the bling, buy the RS. And I think it comes down to purely that. And of course the extra 10 horsepower, if you can live without it, which I think you would. Yeah, you've got to stir it. You've got to stir this bike to get it going maybe a little bit more, but It's splitting hairs, to be honest. There's nothing in it. Suspension's maybe not quite as firm. The RS wasn't exactly solid either. White lines are okay. It's good. It's really good. Not such a contrasting difference back to back as I thought it would be, if I'm honest. It really isn't. So if it could come down to money, or it could come down to looks, or it could come down to whether you want the bits and pieces on it or not. It's as straightforward as that. Let's go this way today. We don't need to go back the other way today. Oh yeah! That was an unexpected little wheelie. A cheeky little number. She's pretty good. She's pretty good. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I am going to say that if I'd have ridden the R first, then I think I would be seriously considering whether or not I'd be going for the RS. There you go, I've said it. Well, there you go. Great bike, great tyres, great spec really for the price. Ride an R and an RS, make up your own mind. Personally, not an awful lot of difference on the road, so if you're not in track days, buy the R, and if you aren't in track days, go for the RS with the fancy gadgets. It's as simple as that. But on the road, really, there's no difference. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and once again tuning in and sticking with the channel, and we will catch you again on the next one. More demos to come, I'm sure. Thanks again. Catch you soon.